All right, so now we're on our almost last question here, 17 and 18. It's about distance and midpoint. So let's have a quick look at this. It says a group of bank robbers want to rob a bank. The following is a map of the bank, the hideout for the robbers, and the police station. So now we're looking at distances. What are the distances between the police to the hideout, the police to the hideout to the bank, and the police to the bank? So you have these distances that are on here. Over here you have the police. Up at the top you have the bank. And over here you have the hideout. Not sure that bank robbing happens like this anymore, but let's have a look at it. First of all, you'll notice along here you have your coordinates, the police station at the hideout. And you don't really, if you look at them closely, you don't really need to do a distance formula. We will, just to practice it. But if you notice that on my y-axis, it's 14 and 14. That means that that line is perfectly straight along there. So it's going to be 30. 40 minus my 10 will give you a distance along there of 30. But just as a reminder, we have our distance formula. It's the square root of x1 minus x2 squared plus y1 minus y2 squared. So I would take my x value, my first one 10, and my second one, and I would subtract them and then square them. I do the same thing, excuse me, for my second y value, 14 and 14, and it would be 0. We'd end up with 40 minus 10, which would be 30, squared 900, square root it, take us back to 30, and so we know the distance along there was 30. Practice your distance formula on the exam. It may not be as easy as that. The next thing that we want to find out is this arc along here from the hideout to the bank. And we know all the way around the circle there would be 2 pi r, which would be our way all the way around. But because we only want this segment, that arc, we divide it by 4. This would be by second quarter, third quarter, and fourth quarter if we're going to go all the way around. But they don't. They just want to go that distance. So, filling in the formula then, 2 times 3.14 times my radius, which is half my diameter, times 15 divided by 4. So doing the math on that, it would be 2 multiplied by 3.14 multiplied by 15 divided by 4, and I get the distance of 23.55. We also know that if this is 30 across there, then each of these segments will be 15, and it's a true circle, even though mine doesn't look like that, it would be 15 along here as well. So to find this last length here, if this is a right angle triangle, it would be a squared plus b squared, using this other formula, a squared plus b squared equals c squared. All right, so we take our 15 and we square it, plus 15 squared will give us our c squared. 15 squared will give us 225 plus 225, give us our c squared, plus 225. Which will give us 450. And remember, those are squared numbers. We don't want c squared. So we square root 450. Let's see if I can figure out how to do it on this calculator. 450. And I come up with 21. So those are our 3 answers. Distance along there. Police station to the hideout, 30 kilometers, say. Hideout to the bank, 23.55, and the last one here, 21.21. And then there is an STD question here. If the police travel to the bank in 2 hours, what is their average speed? So remember, we have our S, T, and D on here. D standing for distance, speed, and time. So we're asking here about the police travel from the bank. Travel to the bank in 2 hours from their police station. So we know our time. We create the triangle here. Our time is 2. We know our distance, 21.21. So they're asking this here, what is our average speed? Well, we know d divided by t will give me s. So 21.21 divided by 2 will give me 10.60. So it's my average speed measured in kilometers per hour. Okay, so they're actually probably on foot rather than on by car or by bike. All right, let's do the last question now. All right, so the last question on the exam was just looking at the area and the volume of sphere and a cube. Let's do the cube first because it's super easy. So it's, again, looking at formulas. So you're looking at the area as if you want to paint the outside of this. What is the total area? It's 6 times the area squared. So it'd be 6, in this case would be 10 to the power of 2. So 6 times 100, which would be 600 cubic feet. So over here in our thing, it would be looking at the area of the cube, it would be 600. If it's feet or inches or whatever it's measured in, we'll call it feet cube. Looking at the area then of that would be the area. Looking at the volume of the cube, it's a simple formula. It's the area, which is 10 cubed, or to the power of 3. So if you're going to fill this with water, say, so it'd be 10 times 10 times 10, which will give you 1,000. And that would be cubic feet as well, or cubic rather than square. All right. The last one here then is the sphere. Again, it's just following the formula 4 pi r squared, which would give you the area, which would be, again, painting the outside of the sphere. So in this case, the radius is 24. So doing the math, 4 times 3.14 times 24 squared will give you that answer. So let's just quickly do it to compare your answer. 24 times 24, 576. So let's do it. 4 times 3.14 multiplied by 576, and I come up with a total area of 7,234.56. And then the last one is another to find the volume. 4/3 times pi times the radius squared. So again, with this one here, 4/3, or 1 1/3, times 3.14 times the radius, which remember was 24 to the power of 3, which would give you that. So you do 24 times 24 times 24 to give you 13. This is a big number, 13,824. 4/3 of that times 3.14 multiplied by that. So let's just do this. Multiplied by 3.14 multiplied by 13,824. And I come up with a really big number for the volume of that sphere, 57,731.78. Double check that. I've done it relatively quickly, but you should come up with a relatively big number of cubic feet of water that you would put inside your sphere if you were filling that water balloon, say, with water. All right, so check all your answers. We'll have a discussion about this. Maybe we'll have just a Zoom class for math students before the final exam. Okay, take care and have a great day.